We got some. What time is it? Is it 7:30?
7:30.
7:30, we'll call the meeting to order. I pledge roll call.
Twenty-one supervisors are present. Supervisors Kubicki and Wamble are excused.
Okay, also present is Ann Price from the Executive Committee and Abigail Nasalek from the Legislative Committee. Citizen comments. Any citizen wish to speak? Any citizen wish to speak? Any citizen wish to speak? Seeing none, citizen comments are closed. Announcement of the chairman, I don't have anything right now. Supervisors' reports. Supervisor Stoker.
The Human Services Committee met with Dr. Jen Freiheit, who gave a report on the SAMHSA grant. This grant is being used to fight the opioid problem in our county. They are providing Narcan to emergency personnel along with training if needed. They are also providing training to any interested resident. After the training, Narcan is provided so that many in our community can respond quickly if needed. There is much hope that this will save many lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Geschke.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a brief date from the Planning and Development and UW Extension Education Committee. The UW Extension feature program this past month was 2022 highlights and 2023 plans looking ahead to the future. I will, after tonight's meeting, send out a PowerPoint that was used as a presentation for any that are interested in learning more about what UW Extension has been doing and looking ahead to what they've been doing. But just a few stats here to share with us tonight. As far as the Plant Health Advising Program, approximately 800 residents in our area utilize that program. The Community Development Program, nearly 450 people utilized programs with the community development, and that was through September. 4-H, we had about 566 youth enrolled in this past year. As far as our FoodWise program, with direct educational contacts, we had about 2,400, and indirect contacts, nearly 13,000. So quite a few through the FoodWise program. So all said and done, all the different programs throughout our region touched 5,890 educational contacts. So a lot of great opportunities for continuing education and growth and development throughout UW Extension. So as I said, as a follow-up, I'll send out a PowerPoint and encourage you to click through that to find out more information. Two more UW Extension programs that I want to highlight tonight. Last month I did mention the Youth and Governance program that we're in the midst of nominations and applications. The deadline for that is February 10, so we have about 3 weeks left. And so I did last month send out a link if you have anybody that you would like to nominate or if you'd like to share more information with anybody that may be interested. And the Youth as Resources program is also right now seeking applicants, and the February 10th is also the deadline for that. So in my follow-up email, I'll include links for both of those to find out more information about youth in governance and youth as resources, and how you may be able to nominate young people that you may be aware of. As far as planning and development goes, really the only item to mention tonight that's not on our agenda is that we adopted a new fee schedule for land use items, permitting, things along those lines for the upcoming year. And that's not something that comes before the board. We just approve that on the committee level. So that concludes my PDEC update. I have had a few other people ask me recently about the Racial, Ethnic, and Equity Commission, specifically about a couple of vacancies that are on our committee. And so just want to give an update on that. I talked to the executive's office today, and we should be hearing who those nominees are very soon. There's about 10 people that applied. The first round of interviews were completed. There'll be a second round of callback interviews, and then hopefully within the next week or so, we should hear who the proposed nominees are for the Racial and Ethnic Equity Commission to serve a 3-year term. Again, there's currently 2 vacancies on that commission waiting to be filled. All right, that concludes my supervisory reports tonight. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Supervisor Nordigan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just 2 items. Public Works agenda will be set here probably tomorrow afternoon or Thursday, and I'll send it out to everyone on the board. Our meeting will be Monday at 6:30 at the KCC for anyone who's interested in attending. Thank you.
Supervisor Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Before I start my report from Judiciary and Law, I would, through the chair to Supervisor Gashke, ask that the updated fee schedule be sent out to the board so we can review it. And then, did the fees stay the same? Were they lowered or did they raise?
Some went up, some went down, some stayed the same.
Okay, thank you. Moving on, the Judiciary and Law Enforcement Committee met on Wednesday the 4th earlier this month. There are 2 action items before you tonight that I will discuss in depth later. Also taken up at the committee was a discussion about the Aramark contract. They do the commissary, if you will, over at the jail. We renewed that contract, and according to county staff, both in the executive's office and over at the sheriff's department, it is a great contract for Kenosha County, so that's good to hear. That did not take committee approval or board approval, so that's why it's not in front of us this evening. And then next month, we will be meeting on the 1st, and plans tentatively will be that the meeting will be held over next door at the PSB. Get to see some more of the things over at the PSB of working closely with the sheriff's department to arrange that, if not next month, sometime closely thereafter. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other supervisors' comments? Any other supervisors' comments? Any other supervisor comments? Supervisor comments are closed.
County Executive Appointments, number 30, Estelina Cooksey to serve on the Civil Service Commission.
That goes to Joe. To both of them, right? Okay. Refer to Judiciary and Law and Finance Committee.
Number 31, Representative Tip McGuire to serve on the Local Emergency Planning Committee.
Refer to Judiciary and Law.
New business, Resolution 64, from the Human Services Committee, a resolution approving the appointment of Constance Carr to serve on the Human Services Board. This passed unanimously at committee. Supervisors Nedweski and Gens is excused.
Supervisor Stoker.
Resolution 64.
Moved by Supervisor Stoker, second by Supervisor Uas. Supervisor Stoker.
Ms. Carr was approved unanimously in committee. I would appreciate your support here as well. Thank you.
Any supervisors' comments? Any supervisors' comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Oppose? Passes.
65 from the Judiciary and Law Enforcement Committee, a resolution to approve the probationary cabaret license for Lily Lake Enterprises LLC. Passed unanimously at committee. Supervisor Belsky excused.
Supervisor Rodriguez.
Chair, move Resolution 65.
Moved by Supervisor Rodriguez, second by Supervisor Basho. Supervisor Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a resolution to approve the probationary cabaret license for Lily Lake Enterprises. All that was happening here was a change in ownership. Went down from 3 owners to 1 owner, that one owner being one of the previously existing owners. I want to thank the applicant for coming to a meeting. We had originally postponed this. We tabled it because we had some questions for the applicant, and she graciously attended the meeting and answered all of our questions and explained what she plans on doing. So the committee supported this unanimously. I ask the board's approval tonight.
Thank you. Supervisor Grady.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through the chair to Supervisor Rodriguez. Was there any, well, first of all, let me back up. Have they had probationary cabaret license before in this establishment?
I believe so. The probationary license is mandatory before a permanent license is granted. Because ownership is technically changing, though one current owner is maintaining ownership, she had to kind of start the process over as if it was a new business.
Okay. And just in terms of neighbors and so forth and the proximity, was there any comments by the neighbors in terms of concerns with hours, volume, that type of thing? Can you comment upon that?
There was not. This is a smaller establishment, not a very big establishment. Part of the reason we tabled this originally was because the application was unclear if the applicant would have entertainment outside, if they do any outside events, and it was for that reason primarily we tabled it. She did come. She did clarify that she does want to hold events outside, as the business has in the past. It's a well-attended event supported by her community.
That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other supervisors? Any other supervisors? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Oppose? Passes.
Resolution 66 from the Judiciary and Law Enforcement and Finance Administration Committees, a resolution to approve the Law Enforcement Support Office Program Participating Law Enforcement Agency State of Plan of Operations Addendum. Passed unanimously by both committees. Supervisors Belsky and Poole excused.
Supervisor Rodriguez.
Move Resolution 66.
Moved by Supervisor Rodriguez, second by Supervisor Rose. Supervisor Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I got to pull out my other notebook for this one. All right. President Biden issued Executive Order 14074. What this does is it affects the LESOP program. This program is a program that law enforcement agencies around the country use to receive decommissioned military items, whether they be vehicles, armor, firearms, pretty much anything you can think of. The federal government has spent money on it for the military. So it can be available for us at the local level. The President's executive order mandates that each local governing body, in this case it would be the county board or a village board or a city council, approve our participation in this program every year. Another change would be that before we acquire anything through the program from the federal government, we must publicly post that we are acquiring that item for 30 consecutive days before we take ownership of that item. That can be in the newspaper, I guess even on social media. It's pretty lenient on where it can be posted. Recently, we don't have anything, we haven't received anything recently through the program, and actually we will be returning several rifles back to the federal government. That's one aspect of this program. If you receive something through the program and then no longer need it or want it, you are in charge of getting it back to the federal government. And to my knowledge, we do have some training for some of our law enforcement folks at the Sheriff's Department down south in the coming months. When they make that trip down south, they will be taking the rifles with them to return them. So that's all this is approving our participation in the program going forward. We should see this resolution every year, barring this executive order gets rescinded. Thank you. And it was approved unanimously. I'm sorry.
Any other supervisors' comments? Any supervisors' comment? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Passes.
Resolution 67 from the Finance and Administration Committee, a resolution to approve ARPA funds for Kenosha County Division of Veteran Services. Passed unanimously at committee. Supervisor Poole excused.
Supervisor Rose.
Mr. Chairman, on behalf of the committee, I would move the resolution.
Moved by Supervisor Rose, second by Supervisor Gersten. Supervisor Rose.
I believe the resolution is a self-explanatory. The use of the money is for the veterans programs, and the committee unanimously endorsed it.
Any supervisors' comments? Any other comments? Seeing none, this requires 2/3 vote, so we're going to have a roll call.
Passes 21 yes, 0 no. Resolution 68 from the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee, a resolution request to approve the appointment of Alex Wisbicki to Lake Benedict Lake Tombow Management District Board, passed unanimously at committee. Supervisors Caro, Kubicki, O'Day, and Berg excused.
Supervisor Carroll.
Move resolution 68.
Moved by Supervisor Carroll, second by Supervisor Geschke. Supervisor Carroll.
Yeah, this is an appointment to the Lake Benedict and Tombow Management District Board. Per the application, Mr. Wisbecki has been very involved in the lakes and the outdoors for his whole life, and we ask the support of his appointment to the board tonight.
Thank you. Any supervisor comments? Any supervisor comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Passes.
Communications, number 41, communication from Supervisors Bashaw and Decker, a resolution regarding DARE and deputy-friendly programs.
Refer to Judiciary and Law Committee.
42, communication from Supervisor Rose and the Legislative Committee, a resolution to request the state of Wisconsin to revise the law on amending adopted municipal budgets.
Refer to the Legislative Committee.
43, communication from Supervisor Rose and the Legislative Committee, a resolution to request the state of Wisconsin to revise the law on authorizing the issuance of bonds of promissory notes.
Refer to Legislative Committee.
44, communication from Judiciary and Law Enforcement Committee, a resolution to approve the 2023 Wisconsin OJA Multi-Jurisdiction Drug Task Force Grant for the Southeast Area Drug Operations Group.
Refer to Judiciary and Law and Finance Committee.
45, communications from Andy M. Bueller regarding future items scheduled before the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee.
Received and filed.
Claims 17, Alyssa Shakur, personal injury.
Refer to Corporation Council.
18, Christy Hoff, personal injury.
Refer to Corporation Council.
Approval of the January 3rd, 2023 minutes by Supervisor Poole.
Supervisor Poole.
Move to approve the January 3rd minutes as amended.
Moved by Supervisor Poole, second by Supervisor Rodriguez. All in favor? Aye. Oppose? Passes. Oh. I'm sorry?
It was a clerical typo in the minutes, Supervisor Gunz.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
There was an email sent out, I think yesterday or today, that they were amended.
Okay, because I said that he moved, okay, sorry. Okay, all
Motion to adjourn?
motion to adjourn by Supervisor Decker, second by Supervisor Rodriguez, Supervisor Uas. All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? We're adjourned.